Hey everyone, welcome to Tell You the Truth, the podcast where the group chat comes to life. I'm your host, Brittany Sharpton, and each week we dive into those juicy conversations, usually reserved just for our closest friends. Stories about love, wellness, careers, and personal growth. This is your space for unfiltered honesty, shared laughs, and maybe even a little self-discovery along the way. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, settle in, and let's get real. Because to tell you the truth, our stories deserve to be heard. Let's get started. Today's guest is Beverly Andre, licensed marriage and family therapist, also known as your favorite MFT. Beverly is a powerhouse in the relationship space, helping Black and Brown couples build healthy, fun, and passionate relationships. Her insights have been featured everywhere, from Netflix to Essence. Beverly's work is all about dismantling myths, breaking down barriers, and getting real about the narratives that shape our relationships. We'll explore the unspoken truths behind relationship dynamics and why emotional vulnerability and communication is the foundation of authentic connection. This is a must listen if you're navigating the complexities of love and desire real, non-sugar-coated talk. This conversation led me to an even deeper introspective part of myself regarding relationships and dynamics, but it also reminded me that I must extend myself a lot more grace. So I really hope that you enjoy listening to this discussion just as much as I enjoyed having it. Let's get started. I just was saying, had I known better, and just got me one of them on campus. But see, I didn't know. But anyway, you were saying about the unicorn life.
So I'm very mindful because of my personal background. Like, I'm part of like the unicorn crew that like my husband and I found each other like freshman year in college, and we started dating sophomore year. So I think it's important to note, because even for people who may have started dating in college and may have gotten married in like their 30s, I think there is a very unique journey dating in college, dating post-college, dating in your 30s, in your 40s, because there's just so much research that does, give very dismal numbers around like the older you are as a Black woman, the lower your chances are of finding forever partnership, which I completely buck against. I think there's a lot of factors that play into finding forever partners as you get older. Like, are you able to expand on age range, race and ethnicity? Like, is there some flexibility? But the reason why I want to caution that is because my experience was just so unique to me. And I do think that it is hard sometimes for single women to hear a perspective of a married person who's been with their person forever and a day about dating now, because it's so different. It's wild, honestly. It's absolutely wild. So that's why I said, like, I can speak to it in terms of like preparing yourself for partnership, communicating expectations around dating and what you're looking for in a partner. But I am not the person to be like, this is what you need to do to find a man. That is just not me.
I appreciate that context and you being, because everybody, especially with social media and the internet, is a relationship guru.
But no, you need to stay in your lane. Like, you need to stay. No, for real, people need to stay in their lane and also operate with a level of empathy and love, because it's so touchy, especially for people who really want partnership. And then to hear advice from married women, it can come off very condescending. Like, you don't get it. And I think it's okay to be like, you're right, I don't get it, and I'm here to support you. You know what I mean?
You know what? Normally I always have like something to say, but all I can do is just, if you're not watching this on YouTube, I can just nod. I so respect that and appreciate that. I love them. Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's still so much value. You're right. It's the way that you deliver it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm receptive to any sort of way to improve, definitely in this facet. But I have found with married women, let me phrase this in a because if I say it a certain way, I come across as a hater.
We get a bad rap sometimes.
It's just the way, it's like no matter what happens, as soon as you get that MRS and you sign that paperwork, it's a level of status and and superiority, and the energy. It's just, I've seen it like.
And this is fueled by society. There's so many cultures who hone in your value to marriage. Like your value is contingent on your relationship to a man. Right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And
Beverly, okay. There's so much. All right. There's so much. Oh my gosh. You like threw me off of I had this narrative arc, but no, like you didn't.
I think it's okay. Like, go slow and like let the Lord use you.
He's using you. He is using you. So I appreciate, okay, it's so funny when you mentioned being the unicorn. Yeah. One of my questions to you, I'm curious, just in your line of work and just your personal experiences, growing up, I grew up in a loving 2-parent household. I am not knocking them in any way. We were exposed to everything that you can possibly think of, travel, every extracurricular, great, education, top notch. But when I think about my childhood or even adolescenthood, I was never taught how to date or relationships. That wasn't even a conversation. And it wasn't until was like, because I really had to reflect and think, okay, let me try to channel my childhood self or take some accountability. Like, how did I get here? And there was never a conversation about relationships, what to look for in a partner. What does love look like? It was, you get good grades. You don't get any money for getting good grades. Like that's the I mean, you curve and you're in principal's honor roll. You go to college, you better finish in 4 years and you get a good job. And then I had to figure it out on my own. So I wanted to ask you, why do you think, especially in Black households with Black girls and women, these sort of discussions don't take place? Because other cultures, I won't say all the time, they be giving tutorials on like what to do. It's just not a conversation that I've had. And I feel like that's an experience for a lot of Black women.
Story time. So I will say overall, right? I'll start overall and then I'll hone in. I believe, based off of my work with couples, things that I've read, researched, my life experience, that a lot of cultures put emphasis on model the behavior you want to see. They think that just showing the behavior is enough, which is why there are some of my boomers who are like, I don't need to say I love you. I show it to you, right? So it's like, you should be paying attention. You should be observant. But I can stand inside of a garage and look at all the components, and it doesn't mean that I'm a car, right? There's something very nuanced about relationships that when you're growing up, you look at whoever the primary guardians are to you, if you have them, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, whoever, or even if it's a single parent who's also dating, you look at them as models of, these are my expectations for relationships, whether it is overtly expressed or if it's by observation. A lot of older couples believe that as long as you see it, then you know what you should do, you know what you shouldn't do. And also, a lot of them were never like really instructed, this is what you need to look out for. This is what you need as you're seeking for a partner. A lot of it is tied to if they believe in God and they're in the church, it hones down to a church. A husband submits to God, his wife submits to him, and the kids submit to the parents. That's like the scope. Or a Proverbs 31 woman. And you read that, and that is your description of how you should be as a wife. And there's space for that. There's something to be said about the importance of spirituality and belief as it relates to who you believe you are in alignment with. But how can you figure that out if you don't have basic communication skills? And I think a lot of what people think that they should have when seeking partnership is something that's like, oh, like, how did my parents find the one or find each other? It's not even external. It's all internal work and a little bit of external. Let me step back, like internal work. Are you aware of your desires of your heart? Are you able to communicate the desires of your heart? Do you know what feels good to you, what looks good to you? Do you know what safety is for you? Because even if your parents gave you advice on this is what you look for in a man, that he needs to open up your door, he needs to do all that, he can open up your door and he's still being your behind closed doors. You know what I mean? So there are certain behaviors I think people look for in the tangible. That's like, that is not enough. When you are with this person, do they listen to you? Are they curious about you? Do they care about your well-being? Do they look out for your well-being? Are they pushing you towards your family or are they pulling you away? Are they isolating you? Do they honor you with their words? Do their words and their behaviors match? Are they in alignment? What you say and what you do makes sense together as a whole package. Those are the things that people should be looking towards to when it comes to seeking partnership. Are you a good person? Because if you are treating the people around you well, then I can have an expectation, probably, that you will treat me well. You can take that chance. Do people switch up on you? Absolutely. However, you need to be able to look at how that person is in community and relationship with you and see if it makes sense for you. Like safety, communication, alignment is so important. And even if you didn't see that from your parents, or maybe if you did, you know what feels right for you. But sometimes we hear different messages. Oh, he's a good man, Savannah. It doesn't matter that he's married. It doesn't matter that he got. Like there's so many outside voices that end up countering what you innately feel is right for you. So be mindful of that and really be able to kind of stick to your guns and honor what it is that you need for yourself. Because if you feel like you have to dim yourself or get smaller to be with someone, probably not your life partner.
Ooh, you said it's more than a mouthful, a body full. There's so much. There's so many different directions I could go. What really resonated with me was what feels good. Ironically, the older I get, the more comfortable and confident I am in terms of what I know or what I think will work for me. Mm-hmm. But then again, countering that after experiences that didn't work out, and I thought that I can trust my gut. Now I'm second guessing myself even more. Like you said, these outside forces, like that's why sometimes I just have to like give myself a social media break, because you don't know what, like you said, somebody can be opening up your car door and knocking the hell out of you, or you see all these elaborate trips. And not saying, I love elaborate trips, and there are plenty of good men who will do this still. Absolutely. But it's just, you don't know what's going on. So I'm just curious, how can a single woman or man fully trust their feeling? And I want to segue into something, Beverly, because I've done the whole, oh my gosh, this man really makes me feel good. I enjoy being around him. I feel seen. I feel heard, but he may be broke. I've done the not pragmatic thing. And then I said, let me be more pragmatic and try to look at characteristics that don't necessarily like align with how I feel. And that hasn't worked. So what are your thoughts on?
It's a both and to me.
Okay.
And I say both and, like you shouldn't compromise one for the other, because feeling has purpose, but it's not enough on its own. So how I feel about you and what I see that you're doing together, because you may make me feel so wonderful and so loved, but I can't trust you to be there for me because you're not showing up for me, or you are, emotionally unavailable, but you're a provider. Ooh. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yes, I do.
Why should you pick between the two as opposed both of them matter? Because remember, I talked about sense of safety. Sense of safety is not just like my physical presence is mentally safe, emotionally safe, spiritually safe. Like when I'm around you, does your voice cause me to second guess mine?
Yeah.
Are you consistent in your treatment with me? So when we start thinking about like how do you figure out which one to pick or whatnot? Okay, you're emotionally safe and all these wonderful things, but you're not 6 feet tall, or you don't have the sexy job. You're a blue collar worker. but you have a job and it's consistent and you're providing. You get what I'm saying? Those are, I feel like, areas of compromise. Because people, most of the time when they start thinking about compromise, it's like, I have this vision of what a power couple is, or the type of person that I should be with, as opposed to the person that I am with, and how do I feel being with them. I'm not saying that, I can't remember who it was, but it was this thing where I can't remember. I think she was a journalist, maybe. And they were saying, "Oh, so you want to date a bus driver?" And she was like,
Oh,
"No."
Ebony K. Williams, right? Who's talking about her
And
IVF for you.
and I was just like, wow, like the way that people are criticizing this woman for wanting what she wants, if that's her preference, that's what she wants, whatnot, whatever. Let her have what she wants. Even if she gets it, when she gets it, it doesn't matter. But for certain people who do desire a certain level of partnership, right? Being clear about what it is that you want, what it is that's what you need. Because if that person has what you need, there's certain things that you can, okay, I don't have to have all the wants, right? Yeah. Nice to have. But those needs, those are uncompromising needs. That's
Beverly.
Like me. Yes.
Sorry. It's just, my mind is just, all these tabs are open and you're saying something. It's like you're reading my notes. I'm like, does everyone she talks to have the same concerns? But I just have to, I hate to interrupt, but I have to segue and ask you this.
Okay.
Thank you so much for bringing up that instance about, to this day, it's so interesting. I just was reading an article and in the comments, they're still referencing the bus driver.
Wow.
And in my mind, I'm like, what does it even matter to you what someone else's preference is? It's the same way.
It's not someone else's. It's a Black woman's preference, because Black women shouldn't have preferences.
Can you say that?
If we're going to get to it, right? If we're going to get to it, the issue was not her having preference. It was that she was a Black woman and she has preferences, instead of her being okay with getting just getting whatever. She wants what she deserves. And they're like, well, why should you? Because that piece where you were saying about, there's other cultures who like put their kids on game and all of that. I went to a PWI, a predominantly white institution. It was very known around campus. The education ladies, the nursing ladies, white ladies, I love them. Cool women. But the first time I ever heard "get that ring before spring" or "by spring" was not from a Black person.
I've never heard that from a Black person.
Never. Because the way in which some Caucasian folks raise their kids, their young girls, it's you find your husband in college, you marry the potential. Oh, he's pre-med. Oh, he's a biology major. Oh, he's an engineering major. Oh, he's pre-law. Right. Go ahead and get that. Oh, he's from this family. It's a very lucrative business. Even Black athletes. Oh, he's positioned to be this and that on the football team or on the basketball team. It was wildness hearing all of this. And I can say it because I've heard it. It's about legacy for them. It's about family name, as opposed to me. When I went to school, my parents were like, you better focus on them books. You better get your education. There's a reason why Black women are one of the most educated groups in America. We are going to get, people talk about those memes. Oh, you broke up with a Black woman and then she graduated with her PhD a week later. We are so educated because we are told education will give you the freedom that you deserve.
It's where the most highly educated group of women, we're the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, we're the most innovative group on the planet. That's fact. However, when you look at the relationships, and it's not because there is anything wrong with us, there's just so many systemic and historical and cultural layers to unpack and peel back, that I just wish people would look at it just how you presented these things. Because even talking to you, Beverly, I didn't even think about, you were right. It was like you said, you better get out of here in these 4 years, get a good job. No one ever said, and I wish someone would have said, hey, you have a good, these 4 years you're here on campus.
Proximity.
You're living right here with these people. Like, I feel like, especially with Black men, I went to Penn, which is a white PWI too.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of overall just quality, high earning, innovative, and I've dated a lot, I'm like, I missed out on my opportunity. That really was what the tuition was for. I'm being facetious here, but I'm just saying.
No, but I really want you to think about that, because there's a...
When you talk about legacy and oh my God,
there's a certain group, that tuition money is just an investment towards your future. Because it's kind of like when you have paid internships and unpaid internships. There's a certain group that's able to afford unpaid internships. I literally was talking to a girlfriend today, and she literally was like, if you go to the White House and you want to do an internship, it is unpaid. And if you look at the class of interns, you see who's able to afford unpaid internship, which is why the Congressional Black Caucus has paid internships, because we, majority, typically cannot afford to have unpaid internships because we need to work. And some of us are working to support our families on top of that. You know what I mean? So just thinking about what I said about legacy, the generational gifts and teachings and lessons. A lot of us are first in our families to go to college. I'm first in my family to go to college, to get a high school degree. Who was going to tell me? Granted, yes, I did find my husband in college, but who's going to tell me, oh, college is your best bet to find life partnership? Because once you graduate, it gets harder for Black women. No one told me that.
No one told me that. Beverly, it's just, oh my gosh. Because I wasn't sure, too, how you were going to receive some of just my candid thoughts. But the fact that I feel validated in these things that I say to myself when I'm putting on makeup or when I'm just sitting, drinking my coffee, I'm just like, I'm all about legacy building.
Yeah.
Why didn't I do better in that department on college campus? And then you think back into your upbringing, but then you don't want to feel ungrateful. So my mind like quickly shuts off those thoughts. But just having this conversation with you, I'm like, one, I'm not alone. Two, I'm not crazy.
No. Well, I do want to just say, like, I want you to be unapologetic about the feelings that you have, because at the end of the day, there is a level of grief and regret that can come up with, wow, had I known, I could have made different moves. And I think Dr. Raquel Martin, I think that's her name, Raquel Martin, she literally just said, like, my kid will never, ever, ever get a perfect attendance certificate. Like, they're going to know they need a mental health day and all that. And I love that messaging, because I know for so many of us, it drives us in college. We can't afford to do an unpaid internship. We can't afford to go on spring break or take time off, or I do 15 credits this semester so I can graduate early. Like, it's that hustler mentality, because you know there's a lot that's riding out on you, you know, being able to graduate. And while that is a pro, sometimes there are consequences that come with that. You're not really able to live and have the full, let me walk that back, because you get to define what a full college experience is, but thinking about a well-rounded college experience, being able to have those late nights and meet those forever friends and possibly find a favorite partner or go on dates that are low risk, right? That we can just date whomever, right?
Right.
I mean, you can date with a purpose, but in terms of like, you don't have to make a solid life decision of, oh, if I date you, you're my husband, because there's this clock and like tick-tocking in the back of your mind. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can enjoy it and have fun. And I think that's probably one of the biggest costs that we pay. I say we, because I was part of it, of seeing college as I'm just here for my degree.
Yes, you said so much. I and a lot of my friends, and I'm sure a lot of your friends too, that's why you said you're a self-proclaimed unicorn, because you're an outlier. We looked at college as a means to get your degree, to catapult your career. There was, I mean, of course, you know, some people dated, some people married their college sweetheart. You're one of them, but that was more the exception than the rule. And it wasn't because that's not something that I wanted to explore. I sincerely, and I'm thinking naive 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old Brittany had zero idea that that should even be,
right.
you know, a part of remotely a focus. It just wasn't. Right now, it seems so silly and crazy that did not dawn on me whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, how do you think, besides people blatantly having these conversations with young women, we can change that? Because it is increasingly difficult for women in general, but especially for Black women who want partnership.
I think we put too much at stake on Black women as opposed to the men. My husband will tell you through and through, I was never a part of his plan. His goal was to, and he's told me this, and it's well known among our friend groups. He's like, I came to college to get this degree and to graduate early. And he did. He graduated in 3 years, I was not part of his plan because he was laser focused, but you know, it's me.
He could resist you.
It was me. So, you know, a little alteration, but think about it. Like the messages that men receive, that Black men receive, you go to college, you can have fun, you can have all the hoes, you can have all the women, blah, blah, blah. Why tie yourself down? Da, 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 da. So the messaging is either the messaging that if we look at the Black population, women get that degree, you better graduate, men, you better have fun, you better get it with all these girls, right? So it goes like this.
Right.
You never intersect, but you know who do intersect?
Becky. I mean, maybe not. So okay. This is another thing that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Becky.
With the good hair.
Maria Carolina, whatever. We'll stick with that. They will go to their sorority activities and parties and be handstanding, drinking beer, twerking, whatever, and somehow still get more respect than let me go out and remotely wear I'm from Miami and with Uncle Luke and our little hoochie. They live by a different set of rules on campus, off campus, and interestingly enough, this was actually a couple of months ago. This Black man had the audacity. I'd gone out with him a couple of times, and the conversations somehow segued into sexual. And I told him that I'm celibate. Now I'm thinking, when I think back on it, I didn't even owe him that, whatever. I didn't even have to say any of that. Yeah. His first reaction, you would think if that's not for him, then he just, all right, that's not for you. You keep it moving. You go on to the next person. He said, white girls don't do that, and they're getting wifed up left and right. I looked at him and said, Negro, you have the audacity to tell me as a Black man, when you know the set of rules for you and Billy are not the same. One, I don't care what Sarah or Tasha is doing. Those are my that's where I am right now in my dating life. So you respect it or you don't. And I don't, unfortunately, I can't operate in this society by her rules. You don't even judge me the same way that you judge Sarah. People are still asking at this big old age how many sexual partners you have, just all sorts of crazy stuff that, I mean, I hate to just sound like I'm venting, but it's you are saying certain things that are like triggering certain memories that are still going on.
Well,
now
I think that is it's such a sad statement. One, because he's assuming that your celibacy journey is contingent on you trying to become a wife, as opposed to it's your own personal journey for whatever reason. Two, yeah, there are different rules for different people, different rules for different genders, different rule for different age groups. And I think it would, I think it would be remiss of me to not call to that fact. There's certain people there, the good old boys club, let boys be boys, he's just being a boy, versus, Sarah, she had the wild times and whatever, but she's, Sally Homebaker now, whatever, and a Black woman. Like, you got a scarlet letter on your chest. It
Oh my
defines
God.
you. You are that girl from college. Oh, he married her. Oh,
Right.
he's with her. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's levels to it. And even in that conversation, it was perpetuated.
It was, I felt so insulted. And it brought me back to Black women already are over sexualized. It stems back from slavery. I mean, there's the Jezebel stereotype. It's
Yeah.
we either are too much or we need to be tamed. So
We take up too much space.
take up too much space, or like if you see a video of a group of Black women, say on a girls' trip, are doing something, it's this heavy critique when they're having a good time. But another group of women do, they're just, they, free, enjoying life. We do it. That's exactly why y'all ain't married. That's why y'all gonna end up with your cat alone and single. It's frustrating because I love Black men. Like, I really, to your point, and I'm gonna finally have to start to listen. I want to expand and like people say, you need to focus on and love those who want you back. Like, that's probably rule number one.
That's huge.
I can't help that, unfortunately, colorism is a thing. I have 4C hair. I have full Black features. I'm a blackety Black woman, a proud blackety Black woman. But if being racially ambiguous or looking mixed, or your hair curls up in the shower, or, you have certain features that make you look more Eurocentric, if that is more desirable to a certain demographic, there's nothing that I can do to try to make myself, nor should I, more attractive to you. Right. So if me finding love happens to look different, and I think that's probably what's going to end up happening than what I envisioned in my head, I guess that's what I have to do. But Beverly, I do not want to be criticized. People are then going to, they'll say, well, when a Black man does it and he ends up with the white girl, y'all are all mad, but then you all do X, Y, and Z. So I'm just curious, based on what you see, there's a difference in my mind.
At the end of the day, even if it's different, it doesn't mean it's bad. It can be different from the vision. It doesn't mean it's bad or less. And I think that's how we honor visions, right? Like Dwayne and Whitley. Everyone wants a Dwayne. You want that Black love story, and there's nothing wrong with that, even if you don't end up with that picture of it. 2, I feel that there's a difference between lusting after someone, like attraction, lusting after someone, and looking for a partnership, like the qualities of a partner. Like, do you want to be attracted to your forever life partner? Absolutely. And if all you have as a basis for your life partner is features, then what's going to happen when you get older? You're going to cycle them through. Because the reason why you chose that life partner was based off of just attraction. So it can't just be one thing. It has to be the entire package. And so for you, you're like, I'm Black, but 4C here. And that's still enough. And it's still enough for your life partner, who will grease your scalp and get your bonnet and put it on for you when it slides off. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I love it.
I think it's important to note time frame, because time is real, especially thinking about biological clocks, thinking about just all of those things. Like, I don't want to take any of that for granted, or to be like, oh girl, he will come, because I can't say that. Like, I'm not the person who's going to bring him to you. You get what I'm saying?
I am so happy that you said that. So many people I find, other Black women, I mean, I love us, but will say, oh yeah, girl, you just need to pray a little bit harder.
The one thing about it, prayer did not bring on a partner.
Can you say that literally one more time?
Prayer is not the only thing that brings on a partner. You got to be out there. You got to be out there. You got to be meeting people. And like having, I call it low stakes dates. Just because you go on a date doesn't mean that, oh, that's my husband. And like my pastor said this not that long ago. He was like, some of y'all need to not date in secret. You can date in privacy, but don't date in secret. You have a core group of people that you trust, whatever, bring them around me, because I can also, the people that you trust can see certain things that you may just not be able to see. And
Yes.
so you can bring somebody around your friends who respect privacy, as opposed to, oh, we just all out here and everybody. No, we get it. If it don't work out, you don't want
That's
to. I get it. And also, I think that's one of the biggest differences too between Black culture at a certain socioeconomic level and other cultures. They literally help people matchmake. Like, they are matchmakers. I've seen it. So many couples, like I have South Asian couples who were set up by parents, who were set up by friends. I have white couples who are like, oh, my golfing buddy, like, it's very much a collective situation, as opposed to Black folks on a certain socioeconomic status. And that's important to know. Is, oh, we soft launch an arm, or you know what I'm saying? Like, things are just done in secrecy, or people don't even know that you're really looking for someone, or they don't know the type of person that you're looking for. So
I feel attacked, because I'm definitely one of those people who I've always said, I will never post a man until I just feel this sense of, hey, if and when it doesn't work out, now I'm going to have to delete all the pictures, or I'm going to jinx myself. But
it's not about posting. There's a difference between people know that you're dating and you're posting it versus I'm dating in privacy and my core people know. Because you have to be mindful. One, and I think it's a safety thing. Like, God forbid just anything happens, like, at least people can know who you're dealing with. And they can look out for things. You get what I'm saying? Like, different behaviors. God forbid something happens to you, they can be like, oh, well, I know she's with such and such. As much information as possible. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's people sometimes will allow the possibility of shame and embarrassment to isolate them. And it's just
my goodness, Beverly. You are speaking to my wounded soul. The fear of being embarrassed, shame, guilt, every year that I get closer and closer to my half of 80 stage, I already feel admittedly less than, or you failed in that department. You're successful on paper in all these other fields, but what is wrong with you where you can't
and
get what you want to achieve in that department?
Right? Whose voice is that? Who gets to dictate your value? My therapist always tells me this, like, who is the authoritative voice in your life? Because whoever that voice is, that is what you will submit to. The belief system, the things that they say, like, if it's not you, if your voice, for me, if my voice is not God, I will submit to the wiles of whoever, the standards of whoever. And it's like, I'm letting other people dictate a time frame for me. I'm letting people dictate success for me, love, happiness.
You are absolutely 1,010% correct. It's just, you're right.
Coming from? Where's the shame and embarrassment coming from? And okay, so you're embarrassed. Why is that a huge thing, as opposed to it's an emotion I get to feel? That I'm old, I can feel embarrassed, and it not like overtake me or take me down.
One, you're correct. I have, and I'm working through this, let other people's opinions dictate too much of not only how I show up, but how I think of myself, caring too much about what other people think. Because if I really honestly just sit and think about it, for me, I've always thought, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to get married. I'm going to have my family, live happily ever after. But sincerely, and this is a recent revelation, I've become comfortable recently saying, if that doesn't happen, I'm not going to let that stop, me from progressing forward, or me from never being happy because that wasn't a box that I couldn't check. And then also, I very much want to be a mother. Like, I've always wanted to be a mom. And when I thought about things, I badly want this relationship because I figured, oh, you need to get with this person to have this. But with all these non-traditional paths to motherhood, I feel fortunate that I did freeze my eggs almost 10 years ago. So I'm like, Brittany, if there is a biological clock, and I mean, I can't ignore that, I have to sit with, what do you really want out of this life? And what steps can you take that are not contingent upon somebody else? Because honestly, Beverly, if it was just about, hey, I wanted to log on to my Links Incorporated membership directory, that's the term for husband, I can find one of these spin the blockers. And I'm sure by Q2 of next year, if it was just to marry anybody, I can get a husband. I mean, I can go out right now to a happy hour and find somebody and okay, that's my husband. But is this something that I want? And I feel like you said, I will feel fulfilled and safe and like I can grow and build with this person. So I'm just curious, your thoughts and what you see. Like, is marriage still in 2024 the ultimate goal, and should it be?
I honestly feel like this is like a question of self-worth. And it's coming up because, of course, my therapist ran me to the ground with it today. And she was like, what makes up your self-worth? What fuels it? Because if it's a whole bunch of external things, if they're not present, then you don't feel like you're enough. You don't feel like you're worth it. So if I'm not married, are you still enough? If you're not a mother, are you still enough? If you're not this, billionaire or whatnot, are you still enough? You get what I'm saying? For a lot of people, life partnership, marriage is a goal that they want to reach. They have this desire. And I get it. I understand it. Like, we are not made to live life alone. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a romantic partnership. It can be within community. But I do feel like for some, marriage has become this ultimate goal because some of our expectations of what we believe marriage will give us feels ultimate. My best friend, my peace, my like all of these things. You walk into marriage with these expectations that your partner will just heal the inner child in you, or just be the best lover, be your best friend. And it's like no one can live under those expectations. No one can meet those expectations consistently ever.
Right.
Like, it can't.
You make a good... Sorry, go ahead.
No. So I feel like if someone thinks about it as it's the ultimate goal, it's because they want that ultimate feeling, that ultimate thing that they believe comes with marriage. And it's just like, you're still with a very imperfectly created person.
And see, that's something that finally, I mean, it's not that I was totally ignorant to what you just said, but I definitely was one of those people that felt like, oh, once I reach this milestone, then this. Yeah. And once I hit, you think, hey, once I buy my first house, then this. Okay, I did that.
Once I get this job.
Then that.
Yeah.
Once I do. And because I definitely thought, oh, well, once I'm in this relationship, then this. But I'm like, it's no one else. I don't believe, I don't like when people say, oh, this person has made me whole. They just, they just completed me.
Ooh, come on.
If you're not complete or whole when you come to me, or if I'm not completed or whole when I come to you, it's not going to work. I don't want a broken person and no one else to work with broken Brittany. So when I finally realized that, I'm like, I put this extra pressure, one on myself and on the institution of marriage. Yeah. All of a sudden, when we sign that paper, when we jump the broom and have this big party, when we go back home after the honeymoon, what substantially is going to change that wasn't there before, either in yourself or in that relationship? And when I sat with that, Beverly, that's when I finally became more comfortable with, if that didn't happen, I would be more okay than I previously did some years ago. And I'm proud of that growth. But that still does not stop me from, when you go outside, you're like, oh, maybe this may be the day that this happens. And to your point, I wish arranged marriages were popular in the Black community. And it's not just certain social economic statuses, whether you are creme de la creme, high echelon, or Quita from the projects. I don't think they don't, unless, they left me out.
Jack and Jill's. I've heard, not that I've heard, and I've seen a lot of not necessarily arranged marriages, but proximity, family, wealth, name, legacy plays a part. These sorority and fraternity auxiliary groups, when it's time for the cotillions and you have to pick a part, it plays a part. I'm not saying that you're forcing them, but
see, Beverly, when you say that, it makes me even more frustrated, because I feel like we've done the Jack and Jill. I'm a member of the Link. I'm in a sorority. I'm a girlfriend. I've done, what's the name of that book? This Is Us or We Are. What's that book called? Anyway, there's some book about these Black organizations that were created.
Yeah.
I'm like, I joined them. It wasn't to look for a husband, because I sincerely connected with the mission and values, and I wanted to be a part of these organizations. But to your point, you are absolutely, yet again, correct.
You, I have to say the quiet part loud, because I've had some of these couples as clients, and they're like, oh yeah, in New York, oh, it's a thing. Louisiana, it's a thing. In Texas, it is a thing. It's done very quietly, but it is a thing.
I wish it was done more out loud, because it needs to be more of a thing. Because in my mind, that is the most pragmatic way to match people. I don't find anything wrong with it. And as I'm talking through this, you're so right. There is this, what did your pastor say? Privacy versus secrecy.
Privacy versus secrecy. The girls who know, the mothers who know. Yeah.
So are you saying the couples that you see, not all of them obviously, but the ones that we're referencing, or even what your pastor said, if we were more vocal and less shameful about being single, just saying, hey, I'm looking, then maybe the outcomes will be better?
I'm not saying it's a one-to-one, but there is something to be said around you doing stuff in isolation. And here's the thing, he literally said this maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I never thought about it like that, in terms of there is still value to your core people being able to give you insight. Obviously, you want to know if you have genuine feelings for that person. Right. I am not saying y'all start dating on Friday, by Monday. You get what I'm saying? I get the importance of you being able to establish, do I actually like this person? And once I know this, before I become in love or even more invested, let me see how they operate around my core people, the people that I know who have my back, who have my best interests at heart. Let me invite him to go to church with me. Let me really, really tight knit. Still private, people who will protect your privacy and also look out for you. I think there's so much value in that. I think that's something previous generations, courtship was done publicly.
Yes.
There's something to be said about value in that, a sense of protection. And also that person knowing that you got people who are checking.
And have your back. So
who have your back.
Oh my gosh, Beverly, but or maybe you're so out of the game, so maybe you can't speak to this. This is what I have found with some of these men's, and I'm talking about people in their late 30s, 40s, deep into their real manlyhood. You're moving too fast. I don't want to meet certain people in your circle, because I completely agree. I don't mind bringing people around to my inner circle if I'm, close with my family, meet my sister, meet friends who I know will respect my privacy, but also may glean on things that I may be wearing rose-colored glasses about. And then on the flip side, you have these people at this big old age. That should have been the red flag to my crazy ass. Anyway, as I say it out loud, I answer my own damn question. Next, Brittany.
It's information. 2 words: information and boundaries.
Okay.
When you have a boundary and a certain standard in which you want to live your life, and you tell someone, hey, I would like for you to meet my core people, and it's too early, that's information. Okay. So when do you believe is an appropriate time? And if they're like, well, after a year or 2 years, and if that don't work for you, say, you know what? I get that. And also, I'm not necessarily aligned in that. Are you willing to compromise with me? And maybe how about 6 months in of us dating? And then if they concede or whatnot, and they're like, okay, sure, in 6 months. And a 6 month time frame comes, and you're like, I really want you to meet my people. We talked about it. We said 6 months. And they're like, oh, well, I don't. That is information. Because one, when we made the compromise, when we had the conversation, we had a decision. Now you're not honoring the decision. If something for you changed, you have an opportunity to say what has changed for you. If you see that they are not in alignment, you need to have a self-conversation with yourself and say, okay, we talked about this. We agreed on this. This person is not changing their mind. Didn't let me know that they were changing their mind. What does this mean for me? Is it that important for me for them to meet him? And that's the make or break it? Or am I okay with waiting it out some more? Whatever that answer is for you tells you how you honor yourself. I mean, everybody is different. Everybody is different.
Everyone is different. And even you saying that though, Beverly, because one of my issues is I am quick to cut somebody off, like probably too quick. I mean, my own dad has criticized you've lost out on opportunities, not just romantically, in business and other things, because and I think it's a defense mechanism. As soon as I sense something like, I would never, if I said, at this age, at 90 to 3 months in, you can't meet someone, I wouldn't even, is that weird?
Too much stake on age.
Okay.
Maturity is not contingent on age.
That is you know what? Thank you. Okay.
You have to be mindful if you're hypersensitive when it comes to conflict, because any form of resistance, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm out. And it's like conflict gives you an opportunity for greater intimacy. It allows you to build trust. How do you know if you can trust something and there's no stress that's applied? Like,
bam.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't trust a chair just by looking at the chair, you sit in it. You like
you eating me up like your therapist. You eating me up today.
So it's kind of like that conversation, like you have to give grace. Like I feel like conflict is one of the biggest gifts. And I say this and I know it doesn't feel good when you're going through it, but conflict is such a gift. Because think about how it feels to get on the other side of it and how close you, on the other side of it in a healthy way where you've communicated and you resolved things and you've repaired, how close you feel, how secure you feel, how heard you feel. Like that is something over time. It's like, we are good. We are good. Like
that is so true.
We're not struggling, but we're navigating life's challenges together. And we're still finding our ability to be in sync. And even if we can't find it for ourselves, we're seeking help. We're going to wise counsel. We're going to a couples therapist. We're seeking advice from our pastor. Like the behaviors gives you so much information. But somebody's like flighty and you can't have a basic conversation with me and figure out how to compromise. There's something to be said there. There's some work.
You are 1,000% correct. I do notice that I will cut people off prematurely, and that is a response to me giving people a chance. And it's unfortunate. It's unfair for me to carry over baggage or trauma from something else and put those same things. And it's like I recognize that, so I'm just trying to actively work through it. But when you were talking about the 1 year and the 6 months. I know it was for the sake of the example. I was like, you know what, Brittany, I probably would have said, oh, you don't want to meet my people because you're not that into me. Find somebody that you want to meet their parents or whatever. And then, but I'm going to work on
maybe
it.
the
Oh my
real
God.
question was, I'm unsure how you feel about me. That was the real question. But
You're right. But
I
I
didn't
didn't
feel vulnerable to ask that. Yeah.
You are right. I did not feel safe enough to be that vulnerable because I did not want that to be weaponized. And that is a theme. See, I bet Beverly's like, that's why your ass is single. But
it's not so contingent on you. You're only one half of a relationship.
Thank you for being, oh my God, I can't believe, wait a minute, Beverly. I wanted to ask something it was two things. I think you wrote this article. Spinning the block. Spinning the block.
Dominique from Essence. She's, I think, the lifestyle editor. She wrote an article about spinning the block.
Right, and you commented.
Yeah, she asked me for my opinion.
Miss Beverly.
Yes.
When, if ever, is it okay or does it make sense to spin the block? And I'm going to leave my comments until after what you have to say because I emphatically have
it's contingent on the person. I think about just numerous factors. Why did y'all break up? Because sometimes you could break up because it's just not the right timing, right? That some people feel, like we were just too young. Like we were in high school, we were in college, or I got out this relationship and I met you, but I felt like it was too soon. So there's so many reasons. So why did y'all break up? If there was an issue that was present, if there was an issue in the relationship that caused the breakup to happen, is the issue still present now? Do you see changed behavior? Do you still have romantic feelings currently for them? Or is it past feelings that are coming up? Because nostalgia can be a drug. That feel-good feeling, like, those times we can romanticize the past and think it's what you're currently feeling. So, like, are you still attracted to them? Are you attracted to the person that they are today and not who they were?
I could wholeheartedly hear you because I was against spinning the block. I always felt like, and maybe again, you're going to say this is wrong. If a relationship doesn't work out, save for it being the wrong timing, if a man decides to come back, this actually just happened a couple weeks ago, unless you approach me and say, like a mature human being, hey, Brittany, I know it didn't work out before. I recognize X, Y, and Z on both of our parts. However, I would like to see if you're receptive to trying again.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But when you be sending these text messages literally after not talking to someone a year plus, I always thought men just do it to make sure that they still have access to you and to stroke their ego. Like I never really thought that they were interested in something serious. They just wanted to waste time. But you're saying something.
That may be true, and don't put your energy into making assumption, because if that's their intention, it'll become clear. There's for real, there's really no point in you trying to make assumptions as to why someone is spinning the block. Let what they say and what they do speak for itself. If they are genuinely interested in something serious, it will be known. If they're playing games, they're consistent, they just want to, because here's the thing, if it's going to stroke their ego, you don't know if something's stroking their ego. Why do you want to find out? Why do you care? Why do you need to know? That's all a power play. It's not worth your energy to try and figure out what their initiatives are.
Beverly, I know we connected on this thing. I'm like, I'm going to have to go to your website. I have a lot of work to do because everything else, I was with you. Here?
No, it's because think about it. Because how will you ever know for sure if you are just hit me up? Maybe they're trying to spin the block and they are genuine, but it feels awkward. They don't know if you would be people are awkward, especially, if you're not emotionally intelligent or you're good with words. So the only thing you can really do is hey, you send a text. I hear you. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. However, I'm in a place in my life where I'm only entertaining serious things. Please, if you are uninterested, just go on about your business. in not so whatever terms. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can just take it upon yourselves to be like, this is my boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Don't flippantly text me late at night. Don't circle around. It's okay. And if they don't respect them, you got a block button. You got to do not disturb. You don't have to entertain that energy.
Okay, I'm processing because I'm like, dang, maybe I am very controlling and want to feel this power play because I want to know why. Like, I'll ask point blank, why? And
well, you can, like, why? Wait, why what?
Like, I asked and they got defensive. And
what did you ask?
Okay. I asked straight up on day 2 after this stupid, mindless, surface level texting, hey, why did you reach out to me? It was so random after nearly 18 months. I wanted to know. I didn't first. Your recommendation was I should have said, hey, these are my boundaries, and then evaluate how they act. But I just said, I just wanted to know, are you nosy? Did you want to see if I'm still single?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with your question.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with your question. Like, when I give that example, I'm just probably thinking about what I may have said. Like, okay. I'm one of those like southern gals, like, hey, like I'm a have a conversation, but I don't think there's anything wrong with like, hey, like, why are you texting me? Granted, some people can read it in a different tone of voice. Maybe that's why he got defensive. Who knows?
Well, that's why I scheduled a Zoom because I was traveling, because you're right. Tone is hard. So I said I would prefer to have this conversation in person, but let's have a video chat. I don't even want a phone call because I want to look at you and ask, hey, obviously I responded. That means that I'm at least semi-receptive, but I want to know why you reached out. Because if you're just looking for a pen pal and a phone buddy, I talk enough on the phone and I type too much for work. I don't need that. Like, I got enough friends. So and their response was, well, I just came back in 2 seconds ago. I mean, we still need to get to.
That's information.
That's information. And then it ain't nothing to cut that off.
Because if you're texting me without purpose, that means you don't have a plan for me. You don't have a plan for us.
Beverly, do you have a book? Do you have a book that we can plug or something? Because all these one-liners, I'm like, these bars, you said at least 5 of them. If you don't have can you say it again about you don't have a plan?
If you don't have a plan, like if he had no purpose in texting you, then he doesn't have a plan for y'all, for us. Like, you know, the whole scripture, if the people have no vision, then they will perish. Like, you have no vision, you have no purpose, no goal for texting me. You just decided to, that means you're not serious. That is information, and you should pay attention to it and observe and make a decision. There's nothing wrong with you asking the question. He gave you the answer that he had, not the one that he planned, and you already knew what time it was.
Beverly, oh my gosh, I know, because this has been, there's just so, I mean, I feel like this could have been like part 5, because I'm still going to ask you, I don't care, you may ignore me, I'm still asking you for a part 2, because I didn't even scratch the surface of all the stuff I wanted to talk about. You talked about pragmatically dating, whether it's okay to date for months, there's just so much. But if people, which I know they're going to love you, want to learn more about you or work with you or just see what you're up to, how can they find you?
On socials, on Instagram, with Beverly Andre with the LEY, BEVERLEY ANDRE_, because someone stole my name. So
okay. And right, you can just Google her too. I mean, tons of stuff pops up. Is there anything that you're working on that you want to?
I'm actually, let's see, we're in fall. So I just finished like a cohort of engaged couples. I did premarital coaching for them, and I just finished that up. So I'm going to be launching another cohort in January.
Oh, so only for people that are engaged, y'all are discriminating again?
Actually, no, like, I've had a couple who are seriously dating.
Okay.
They want to they're engaged now. I'm so happy for them. But they started premarital therapy before they got engaged, because they were like, we want to like get the tools and everything before we make it official. I had 2 couples actually who
I love that.
Were seriously dating before they got engaged. And then they went through the program, and they absolutely loved it. So yeah.
You said something else. Okay, so 1, congrats on that. 2, you answered a question that was on my list that I didn't ask. Yes, you can get counseling. You do not need to be married to see.
No. I honestly feel like that's probably the best gift that you can give your relationship before you get even more invested. And these tools are just applicable in life. Like the way we be digging deep in communication, like people just don't know how to communicate, period. So just because you think you can communicate with your homegirls don't mean you can communicate with your partner. Your homeboys don't communicate like you know? So
And just because you see a couples counselor or therapist does not mean that your relationship is broken.
no, it means that you want a fire relationship. You want a solid foundation.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this was awesome. Thank you, Beverly. This was such a layered, honest, I just feel the sincerity through the screen. Thank you for tuning in to Tell You the Truth. If you connected with today's conversation, please share, subscribe, rate, and review. It helps us grow this incredible Truth Tribe community. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts and follow on social media for the latest updates. Until next time, keep it real and keep showing up for yourself. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.